Hello, welcome to the Richardson Simple Living. My name's Maria. If you're new here, I film mainly about homeschooling, urban homesteading and home life. Recently, home life seems to be a lot of cooking in the air fryer, but over the coming months, we're probably going to swing it a little bit back into some home life, which I'll tell you about as the time comes nearer. So we'll do all sorts then, all kinds of things, but we'll still be cooking in the air fryer. I'm loving that air fryer. But anyway, today it's homeschooling. We're going to be talking homeschooling today. I haven't done a homeschool video for a couple of weeks due to commitments, and I've still got quite a lot of ongoing commitments at the moment. And like I say, we'll talk about that in a few weeks. But yeah, I'd asked about questions. I was inviting everybody to give us questions, what they'd like to know about homeschooling, because people seem to have a lot of questions about it and wonder about it. And especially as Sian is a secondary school age homeschooler, then, you know, people are more interested, especially like because of exams and GCSEs and the beyond years. And that's one of the questions I've been asked. That's one of the questions I'm going to answer today as best I can. Can't totally answer it because things change, and that's the beauty of homeschooling. You can change them if things need to change. But anyway, I had a question from @Kim7504, and she'd asked me what plans has Sian got beyond the GCSE years. Well, we've been talking about GCSEs recently, and I've said, you know, that Sian doesn't really want to do GCSEs. She's not keen on the whole exam thing, and I'm not going to force her into doing them. If she doesn't want to do them, I'm not going to force her, because I'm a big believer that you can do something that you want to do any time in your life. There should be no set age limits on when you do things. You should be able to do things whenever you want to do them, because by doing that, you're going to get on far better with what you've chosen to do. You will excel because that's what you want to do at the time you want to do it and the time you're ready to do it. So as far as exams go, at the moment there's no plans to be doing them, but that doesn't mean to say we're not following GCSE coursework, things like that. I mean, she's Key Stage 3 at the moment, September at the start of the new academic year. If you're following schools, that is. Not all homeschoolers do, but we have done since Sian was in primary years at school. We've continued to follow the terms and things, so Sian can socialise with school friends when they're available, you know. But anyway, come September, the new academic year, that's when Sian will officially be starting the key stage, a GCSE years, which is Key Stage 4. And we do intend to incorporate some of the study work into what Sian does. At the moment, we have started the Key Stage for the GCSE history, because she finished the history book. And although she was looking at history from her own angle and we were looking at things independently, it seemed better to follow the book. She enjoyed following the book, and because we were going to do GCSE history book, not the exam, the book, we thought might as well start it early. And there's so much in that. I mean, I gave you a review a couple of videos back. There's so much in there. I think that could even take her through into like sixth form years if she wants to continue doing that. But anyway, yeah, so there's no plans for that at the moment. So a lot of people say, well, you're limited then what you're going to do. But like I say, I'm a big believer in when the time's right, you'll know what you want to do. And you'll be better for doing that because you'll be more geared to doing it rather than being pushed into things. I'm watching people now in year 11, all about to do their GCSEs. Some of them have started them, and they're all saying what they're going to do, and most of them are going to college anyway, and they're doing this course and that course, but they're not really sure they want to do it. And, you know, it's because they've got to take what's available and things like that. So I'm thinking, well, they'll change, they'll probably change. Not many of them will carry on doing what they're picking to do now, because a lot of them are just picking it because they've got to pick something. And an awful lot of years I want to say, keep saying year 6, year 11 students are doing that, just picking what's available. The course that they think is either the easiest or something they fancy the sound of, they're just picking it because they've got to do something for the 2 years. So yeah, what Sian's going to do beyond that. So like I say, if I sort of map it roughly as we're thinking at the moment, we will do videos more on it closer to the time, what we're actually choosing to do. But what we're doing at the moment, we're going to follow some of the key stage for the GCSE workbooks to see how she feels, because she can change her mind about exams anytime, and we'll sit them independently. If that's what she chooses to do, I will find an independent way of doing that. She can go into college from that year, but I looked into that, and nearest college is a little bit far out for her to go travelling to. She'd be better waiting till the end of year 11 and taking a college course then. So that takes then to like the end of year 11. What she do beyond that is she could take a college course. She's talked about college. If she hasn't done GCSEs, they run GCSEs alongside of them, but Sian would probably have to, well, the English should be all right with, because we've kept up with doing the school curriculum English and added a bit of extra of her own on as well. But it's the maths. I mean, as I've spoken many times, she wouldn't be able to do the maths. But they do like a foundation course in our local college where they can bring them up to the level that's needed to be at. So she'd probably have to do that if she chose to go to college, and we've made no firm decisions yet. But yeah, beyond the GCSE years, if she's not sat the GCSEs, then if she wants to go to college, she can do the foundation course for that. In the meantime, I could do the GCSE English, so she hasn't got to worry about that there. We could do that independently, or she could go to college. Now, the beauty of that is, if I do it independently, I'd have to pay for it. But if we go to college, then she'll get it free, because she's under 19 and a student. So she could get it free if she goes into college, or we could just do it, you know, and pay for it ourselves. But we'll see, you know, they might want to just run the 2 at college. I don't really know, because we've not inquired at college, because she's not at that stage yet. So yeah, that's an option that we've been looking at and we've seen is available. She would have to do a foundation course and go on to a course then, and run the GCSEs alongside whatever course she chose. So she could do that. We don't know if she'll do that, because she doesn't know what she wants to do. She's getting more ideas now of what she likes doing. She likes photography, because I said to her, well, if you went to college, what would you like to do in college? She says, I like doing photography, I like doing art, and she likes anything to do with animals as well. She loves animals. So, you know, maybe she'd be looking along one of those lines to see what was appropriate or suitable, and, you know, being able to do the GCSEs they'd wanted to do for them courses. I don't think it matters too much if she passes the GCSEs, because I know people who've had to run them alongside the college courses and, you know, done a few attempts at passing them and not passed them, but they've not been thrown off the course either. I think as long as they are there to do them and attempt to do them, that's fine. They just continue with the course. So yeah, that's, I wouldn't say that was the number one thing at the moment, but that's the most talked about thing at the moment. That's one of the things we're actually looking at. Going down that route is one of the things we're thinking. Now, obviously, she could go into something else. We could find us a job. Maybe she'll go straight into a job. I mean, I've got to be honest, we are at a bit of an advantage, because a lot of our family run businesses. The vast majority of them work for themselves and own their own businesses. So there's always something she can do. Like, she wants to do a work experience, where she's going to go with her dad to do work experience, because the schools, they all have a work experience week. Well, Sian didn't want to miss out on that. So a bit further down the line, we're going to be filming Sian on a work experience. So you'll see that one day. And she's going to go out and do work experience with her dad. However, things around what her dad does is changing as well. So she's got to do that before we change things around again. But if you watch my very first video, what we originally were planning on doing, then some of that's coming into play. It's starting to change around now, and I'll tell you all about that, which is why I want to go into more filming about more about her life, so you can see what's happening, and you can see if something can work for one person, it can work for another too. But anyway, yeah, I could send her out to work with the family. If she wanted to work with one of them, she could, you know, go work alongside one of them. I think it's nice to start her own business, actually. Like I say, a lot of us are self-employed, and I'm a big believer in being your own boss and running your own business. So I think maybe along them lines would be nice. At the moment, as you know, we've been setting up hopperties. That was a mouthful. We're starting the boarding imminently. We're starting that. The grooming we're putting back for a little while, because we've got other things going on. We've got a few fingers in a few pies at the moment, so everything's moving around. So yeah, so after GCSE years, like I say, if she wants to do GCSEs, we'll either do them independently, going to college and do them, and going to college and do something else. Or if she doesn't want to do them at all, we'll route her somewhere into either doing her own business or into one of the other businesses, something like that. However, something else that we're thinking about, like because I intend to homeschool her through A-level years as well. And that's the years we're going to say, right, you know, if this is what you're going to do, we'll stick at this for a while. And then when, you know, you want to do something different, you can change. Because it's like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I want to do. So we sort of probably have to route her into something to begin with. And from there, in the coming years, she'll maybe diverse into something of her own, as a lot of people do. Like I was saying, a lot of children are going into college because it sounds good, it's easy to do, the courses, they're picking the courses based on that or what they can do. It doesn't necessarily mean it's anything they're going to set a career on, you know. And it'll be the same with Sian. It's early to say it, it's hard to say what she'll do beyond there, but I mean, we'll keep you updated as things change, as ideas come along. But one of the things, like I was saying, we're going to do sixth form years. What we want to do with them is have some idea of things that she may do, that she may be interested in, or if she's going into one of the businesses. Now, I can't remember the name of the points. CPD points, are they called? A lot of businesses, they have their staff do them, or people who are running the businesses. They go on courses and things like that, and you earn these points. And on average, I think it's like 20, 30 points a year. Looks good on your CV. It's to prove that you're constantly training and upgrading on what you're doing and what you know. It just looks good on a CV and things like that, you know, and good for customers if you're the head of a business, or, you know, you're the work staff, and you can say my staff have earned this many points. I'm sure it's called CPD points. I can't remember offhand. And so we're going to start her with them to whatever interest she's chosen. We're going to see where we can channel her and start her doing some courses, and she'll do them then, like, which would normally be your A-level years. She's definitely not going to do A-levels, not unless she surprises me. Never say never, should you? But yeah, we're going to go into doing some of them courses, channeling into what she's interested in. And unless, of course, she's gone to college, then obviously those years will be spent there. But if she's not going to college is what I'm talking about. If she decides to do like the Key Stage 5, wouldn't it, then the years? If she does them at home, then that's mainly what we're going to focus on. What she can do, what she wants to do, what she's interested in, and getting points in them and leading her into business. There'll be more business years, I think. They will definitely be business years. So, I mean, I've been doing them because of doing Hopperties. I mean, when I first ran Hopperties, boarding and looking after animals. I didn't bother with the qualifications because you don't need them. But this time around I've done them, and I'm gathering points all the time, and I've got quite a high number of points because it's easy to get a high number, so it shouldn't be a problem for Sian or anybody else who wants to do them. Just get the points, and it looks good. So she starts her own business, she's got all these, and she can say, well, you know, we're continually training. This year I have achieved so many points, you know, in whatever it is she's doing. So that's the sort of thing we're thinking. If we go beyond GCSE, we're not going into college, then it'll be the Key Stage 5. Oh, I get so confused with it all. Key Stage 5 years will be spent here till she's, well, I say till she's 18. Sian will be nearly 19 because she was like one of the early ones of her year, one of the older ones. So she'll be nearly 19. So she'll do those 2 years here with me, and she will continue picking what studies she wants to pick, but we'll channel it more to her main interests of what she's intending to do, because that'll be the point that we'll need to find something for her to do, even if it's not going to be a lifelong thing. It's the start on a ladder to where she's going to be eventually. So that's what we're hoping to do. I mean, it's a bit vague, obviously, because we're still in Key Stage 3 at the moment, and we'll only be heading into Key Stage 4 in September. So I can't be exactly sure. Things change, and we've got no definites yet. But beyond GCSEs, at the moment, she doesn't want to do GCSEs. If she goes to college, then yes, she will do them. But even though we're no intention of doing them at the moment, she is going to be doing Key Stage for GCSE bookwork. I mean, not everything they follow, but what we're going to be doing in another month or two, or during the summer holidays, we're going to pick what subjects that she's going to be doing. And every day isn't going to be an actual school day, not a sit down and study school day. We're going to be doing some other stuff as well, a couple of days of something else, but it'll all unfold as time goes on. I tell you, we chop and change more than the weather. But this is what I mean. You know, you do one thing, you diverse to something else. You've got to find what's best for you and go with it. And if it's not right, don't be afraid to change again. And that's the important thing that I must always say to her, and I do say to her. Never be afraid to try something new. Never be afraid to say, this isn't working for me. Throw it, we'll do something different. I've done it all my life. I've always done it, and I've always gotten fine for it. Everybody said I was chopping and changing my mind, but hey, so, you know, if it works for me, it works for me. And don't do something you're not happy with. Don't do something you're uncomfortable with. And certainly don't do something that you can see isn't going to work. I mean, by all means, give things a chance, but if you can see it's not going to work, don't go with it. But chop and change, go to something else. That's the beauty of it. You can, so, you know, do it. And with being homeschoolers, that's even easier to do from, you know, the young school age. You haven't got to wait to be an adult to do it. So that's really what's happening. I mean, I can't tell you bang on what we're going to do, because like I say, it could change. But yeah, it'll be either college. I mean, we've been looking a lot and talking a lot about that at the moment. It'll either be going into college. She will have to do, well, I think it's maths and English anyway. English shouldn't be too much of a problem for her, because like I say, we've been doing the Key Stage 3 work, and we've finished all that work now, so we're doing a bit of independent English now, devising our own. But we'll follow the GCSE ones on that, so that shouldn't be too bad for her. Maths will be. So she'll perhaps have to do a foundation course or something first, because she can either get a 2-year course or a 1-year course on something in college. I think the foundation courses are a year, and then she could perhaps do another year or 2. We'll see. We'll have to deal with that when the time comes, because we won't know. Because like I say, we're only coming to the end of Key Stage 3 at the moment. And then if she doesn't do that, we will carry on doing the Key Stage 5, which would normally be the A-level years here, but we're not doing A-levels, not unless like she turned around, she's done all GCSEs and said, I won't do A-levels now, but I think that's highly unlikely. There's about as much chance of me going to the moon as that happening. But never say never. Never say never. But yeah, she'll do them. If she doesn't go to college, she'll do them here. But we'll be looking and gearing more into business studies, pushing more into business, I think. One job that I used to do, I did for a long time, I did caring. I worked as a carer. Now, you don't really need formal education to go into that. You just need, they train you to do that. All of the care homes and nursing homes around here, they train you. And you can get your own training online, like I say, about the points. I've forgotten what they were called. I should have jotted it down what the points are called. But these training points, you can gain them yourself. Then means you'll do less training to go into a position. And it's ongoing training there anyway. I was constantly training all the time. But yeah, so it's not like there's nothing out there. And there's a lot of places that will train you, take you and train you, you know. So not everything you need is written on paper. So yeah, I can't be exact what's happening, but that's what we're thinking of happening anyway. That's what we're thinking. It'll either be college or we'll do the training here and we'll be looking toward more business then. We'll be looking toward business. So we shall see. Watch this space. We shall see what's happening. But like I say, it's not worth worrying about. And if you're in that position yourselves, don't flap about it or worry about it. Let it unfold, really. It seems to unfold itself. Just keep listening and seeing what they say and what they're interested in. Every now and again they might say, and, you know, see where you can tweak things and aim things. Into that the beauty, isn't it? Because, you know, with homeschooling, you can just try things out and tweak things. So yeah, that's it really. That's as much planning as we've got at the moment. Can't be more specific than that. But like I say, it will unfold. You will see what we're doing. And over the coming months, we're going to be showing you a lot more things. I've always said about home life, you'll see a lot more of that, more, you know, even if it's just something trivial or some plans, things that we're planning. You might see more business stuff going on. Might show you a lot more of what's going on, because I seem to have just got now into homeschooling and air frying. And that's not originally how I intended that. Well, homeschooling was a big one, yes, definitely. But I was going to incorporate home life so you can see, you know, everything else and behind the scenes really and things like that. So, because everything looks so rosy, doesn't it, when you just watch and you think, their life's so rosy. Life isn't rosy. And it's good to see ups and downs of things as people navigate their way through, you know, all this sort of stuff like homeschooling, home life, and even our urban homestead, things like that, which is where I'm off out to now. I'm going to finish this video, and we've got a day of planting, and I've just been in the greenhouse to look at some of the plants, and I found slugs going up my greenhouse glass, and I thought, I've never had that before. And one of them's been chewing on one of the pumpkins. I thought, that's it. I'm going to war on them. So yeah, I've got all that to do next. My husband's already out there. He's made a start on the broccoli and cauliflowers, getting them in before it rains. So there's all things like that. Things are going on all the time, and you know, sometimes people hear me talk about things and go, oh, what's it looking like out there, or you know, what's happening here and what's happening there. So I thought it might be nice just to see a bit more of us, really. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for the question. If anybody else has got any questions or want to know what we're up to, it doesn't have to be about homeschooling. It could be about anything. As long as it's within reason, I'll answer it. So yeah, thank you very much for your question. I do appreciate your questions. And like I say, it will unfold as time goes on. You know, you'll see what we do and chop and change and whatnot. So we'll leave it at that for now then. I think I'll try and think if there's anything else I was going to tell you or anything. But I don't think there's anything else yet. Now, I will come back this week with an air fryer recipe. Going to try something else in there. Really enjoying using the air fryer. I think, to be honest with you though, I prefer it more for sweet things than savoury things. I seem to think the sweet thing, I don't know, maybe I'm just a sweet person. I'm not mad on sugar and things like that, but I don't know, they seem to come nice. All the apple recipes have come out really nice. So we'll see what else we can do in there. So yeah, Friday we'll come back with an air fryer recipe and see what we can do in there. And then I think next Tuesday, I'm taking part in a collab again. And that's hosted by Victoria from Home Educating Mad Lads. We're going to do another collab. And then homeschool-wise, beyond that, I'm going to do a review then. I'm going to start doing a review because we're coming to the end of Key Stage 3 years. Because like I say, Sian does the summer holidays. So we'll be coming to the end of that. I'm going to start reviewing the years that we've done already and, you know, give you a quick review on how things have gone and how we felt and what we thought and sort of where we're going to springboard to from there. So yeah, that's that over the coming weeks. But like I said, I'll be back on Friday with an air fryer recipe. So if you like watching the air fryer recipes, I'll see you then. If you're just watching for the homeschool, hopefully I'll see you next Tuesday. But whenever I see you, take care of yourselves. Bye.